Fame has a price, and I've already paid. My name isn't important, but if I don't tell this story, I don't think I'll ever sleep again. It happened a few years ago when I first moved to Los Angeles. I was 24, broke, chasing my dream of becoming an actress. I thought I knew what desperation felt like until that night showed me exactly what fear really was. I was working at a diner near Sunset Boulevard, the kind that stays open late for producers, models, and wannabe stars. Every night I smiled and poured coffee for people who act like they were better than me. But I told myself, my big break is coming. One night after a long shift, I walked out to my car and found something strange tucked under my windshield wiper. A gold envelope, thick and heavy, sealed with a dark red wax symbol that looked like the all-seeing eye. When I opened it, the card inside shimmered faintly under the streetlights. It said, "You've been chosen. The gates open at midnight. Dress in all white." There were no return address, just an address in the Hollywood Hills. At first, I laughed. I thought it was some weird networking stunt, maybe a secret industry event. But something about it felt strange. I couldn't explain it. By 11:30, I was dressed in my best white dress, driven up into the hills. When I arrived, there were luxury cars everywhere. Rolls-Royce, Bentley, and black SUVs. The mansion was massive, beautiful. At the door stood two men in black suits. One took my phone without any words. The other one handed me a mask. I hesitated, but he says, "You'll need this." Inside, everything looked like a scene from a movie. People in white gowns, gold masks stood around sipping champagnes that shimmered like liquid lights. A soft symphony played somewhere in the background. No one spoke above whispers. At exactly midnight, the lights dimmed. A woman in a crimson gown appeared at the top of a grand staircase. Her presence was magnetic. Everyone stopped talking. Even the music faded. She said in a voice that echoed throughout the room, "Tonight, we open the gates between this world and the ones that truly runs it." Everyone bowed. At first, I was thinking maybe this was a performance art, some Hollywood stunt. But the air, it changed. It got heavy, charged like the air before lightning strike. The woman raised her hand and a hidden door opened behind the staircase. Everyone started walking towards it, so I followed. It led me to a stone hallway lined with candles. At the end was a massive underground chamber. The floor was black marbles, covered in strange gold symbols. In the center stood a tall mirror framed in gold serpents. That's when I felt a hand on my shoulder. I turned, and I recognized him. It was Elias Cross, a famous director known for his disturbing horror films. He leaned close to me and whispered, "You wanted to be successful, didn't you? Everyone here paid for theirs, just not with money." I thought he was joking until the mirror began to ripple like water. Faces appeared in the reflections, famous faces, some still alive and some dead. I saw their face moving like they were trapped inside the glass. The woman in red stepped forward and said, "A new face must always enter. The mirror has chosen her." Everyone turned towards me. I tried to step back, but Elias held my wrist. My reflection began to move. It smiled, even though I wasn't even smiling. It reached out towards me. I remember cold fingers pressing against my chest. And then, nothing. I woke up outside on the grass. My white dress was torn. My phone was back in my purse, but every photo, contact, and message was gone. When I looked back at the mansion, there was nothing there, just darkness and trees. 2 weeks later, I turned on the news. An actress from that night I remembered clearly was unalived. They said it was suicide. But I knew exactly what I saw. I packed all my things and left Los Angeles that same day. Now I live in a different state under a different name. I don't act anymore. I don't even watch movies. But sometimes when I pass a mirror, I swear I see myself smiling back at me. Oof. Okay, that was definitely weird. And it kind of reminded me of another story that I did. It was like a video, a story that I was reacting to, of this young man who went to a Hollywood party, and he was like one of those few, the Vine, like during Vine time, like he was in Vine and, with all his friends and all that stuff. Well, his YouTube channel was not budging. And he apparently has this other friend who was also in the same situation, but that friend ended up becoming more famous and he didn't, because he got invited to a party in the Hollywood Hills or somewhere in Hollywood or in, California. And it was something similar to this kind of party where he basically started getting like chased. They were following him. He would go in his house, things would be moved around where he remembered things would be, and then when he gets home, they won't be there anymore. To the point where the man had to literally move states. He could not even stay there anymore because the people were following him. And that also reminded me of a video that I just saw of Sloan Bella, who is a psychic reader. She does a lot of celebrity psychic stuff, but she usually read like people who have passed on, and basically she felt like, she should tell their stories because they're coming to her. And so she started telling a story about the young lady who had just passed away, and David's card, D4VD. And she basically made a video about that, explaining what actually happened. And I love her because a lot of her things are very accurate. Like, she'll predict things and then it will come to pass. So basically she predicted the whole Diddy situation, and down to the day that he was going to get, arrested. And exactly like that it happened, right? So she was basically saying how, like, what she saw was the girl, Celeste, she was at a party, or not a party, but because the girl actually took her, I guess possessed her, and she was able to see what the girl saw, like the last minute of it all. But she was at a party, like one of those underground chamber parties. People in Hollywood, they be doing some weird stuff, like, the tunnels that they were talking about at Diddy's house, allegedly. But yeah, she was like, yeah, she took me through all these things, and they were at this event where it was like almost like a drive-in theater, and famous people paid to watch other people being tortured and mutilated and all that stuff, as if it's like a movie. It kind of also reminded me of like, what's the name? Squid Game, where the wealthy people would basically pay to watch poor people get tortured. It's very, very strange. It was very, very strange. But this story kind of reminded me of that. That's why when I was reading, I was like, I need to bring this to you guys and also mention what I just saw with Sloan Bella and the video that she made about the young lady who was found unalive in a Tesla in a famous celebrity's car. And she was like mutilated and all that stuff. It was very, very strange. But the way she was describing what she was seeing, the girl was supposed to be the person that was going to be tortured, and also the people who are millionaires have paid to come and watch. So it's like a drive-in theater, and they're watching everything happen as it happened in real life. So it's not like horror stories or anything. It's not like a horror movie or anything. It's real life. But when she mentioned that actor, now I don't know if this is a real actor, I never heard of it before, but when she mentioned that she saw that actor at the event, and he basically told her the same thing, hey, you want fame, and da-da-da, I'm thinking, and then the girl popping up on a live, I'm thinking there was some sort of, torturing going on at that event. Very, very strange story. But anyways, guys, that's the story. Let me know what you think about this story. I will be back with more stories tomorrow. Talk to you later. Happy Halloween.